Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ACential podcast, episode number 3, our last episode of the ACential podcast for 2021. I am Sean of the Arts and Publication team at Anime Central, and glad to have you guys here this week. We've got not a whole lot of announcements to talk about. This episode is mainly focused on our interview with Phil, our senior manager of Exhibit Experiences. But we do have a couple of things to talk about. First and foremost, obviously, registration. By the time this episode comes out, we've only got a few days until Tier 2 registration ends for ACen 2022. So, if you are looking to buy a badge, you want to do that pretty soon because our Tier 2 pricing ends on New Year's Day 2022. So head on over to acen.org/registration-info to get signed up. The next thing to bring up is that live event registration is now, live. So if you're wanting to hold a cosplay gathering, or if you're wanting to run a panel at ACen 2022, or maybe you'd like to perform, head on over to acen.org, look up at the top under Register Now, and there are 3 different types of events up there. Pick the one that you're wanting to register for and get signed up. We've gotten a lot of registrations so far for panels and photo shoots that we're super, super excited to see what all you guys are going to do for ACen 2022. Again, if you haven't registered yet, please do so. Head on over to acen.org. Look at the Register Now button. You'll find in that little menu 3 different registration options for live events, and get registered today. All right, guys, I have got a very special interview with you today. We've talked to the people who are in charge of getting our hotels, but now we're going to talk to the guy who takes care of everything that happens inside our exhibit spaces. Today, I am joined by Phil, who is our senior manager of exhibit experiences. Phil, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners and let them know kind of what you do for the organization.
All right. My name's Philip Ward Schmidt, and I'm the senior manager over exhibit experiences. For those of you who might not know what exhibit experiences is it's the section that has a number of departments that roll up into it: gaming, exhibit space, and cosplay exhibits.
Okay, all right. So basically, you take care of a lot of the things that happen inside the convention space, like you said, like our video gaming area, artist alley, a little bit, and the vendor spaces.
Yep. You can think of the majority of the exhibitions and hall activities on the first floor of the Donald D. Stevens Convention Center.
All right. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about who is Phil outside of the convention? Like, what do you do for a living and stuff like that?
Yeah. So by day, I'm a mild-mannered senior financial analyst. I'm married with 3 cats and 1 dog. They're all named after X-Men. So you can tell both me and my wife really enjoy not only anime, but also pop culture. And I spend my free time volunteering here at ACen and Maps, while also playing video games. And you can usually find me on things like Overwatch or what have you, and working out when I can find time to hit the gym.
I completely understand. Who do you like to play as in Overwatch?
Well, I tend to be a support player. So changing up between either Mercy, Ana, or Moira is pretty much what I usually am.
Good choices. So a lot of the people that I've interviewed so far for the podcast have been more recent additions to the organization, but you and I had have spoken previously, and you've been with the organization for a while. How many years have you been attending ACen, and how many years have you been on staff?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, it's been a while. Let's see. I started with ASIN in 2006, and have been with the organization ever since. So I think that's about 15 years, give or take a few months.
All right, fine. Because like I had said, a lot of or the people I've interviewed so far, they've only been with the organization for 2 years, but you've got a peek into the history and the legacy of the convention.
Yeah, it's we've come a long way, and I'm really excited for everything we've done, and what we're doing moving forward.
Me too. I'm definitely excited for what we've got coming up in 2022. So tell me, you've been a part of the organization for a while, and you've seen a lot of things. What's your favorite thing to do while you are at ASEN?
Oh gosh, yeah, I enjoy working with our industry partners
Mm-hmm.
and walking through the exhibition spaces during the day,
Mm-hmm.
and in the evening, spending time with my fellow ASIN team members, because we're all working towards the same goal, and I'm hopeful, that we put on a event that everyone truly enjoys. So
Exactly. I'm kind of a new hire into the organization, but I can definitely feel the sense of community and camaraderie within the staffers. And it was something we very much touched on in our volunteering episode that, we want more people to join us, to join that group so that we can see the future of what the organization can bring. So
absolutely.
exactly. So what was since you've been with the organization since 2006? What kind of positions have you held within the organization? You and I have talked previously about this. But you've worn a lot of hats.
Yeah, I think that or I like to think that my very first position with the organization was as a fan.
Yes.
But my very first position was the assistant department manager over the art show,
Mm-hmm.
and from there I worked my way up to the artist alley assistant department manager, then department manager over the artist alley and retailer hall, then the exhibit space department manager, and somewhere between there, I joined the board of directors, and now I'm the senior manager of exhibit experiences. So it's been quite a wild ride.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, you've worked your way from assistant manager over the art show all the way up to the board of directors. That's quite an accomplishment, especially considering the board of directors is a is a big job. So we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but as the head of exhibit spaces, um, you handle our vendor, sorry, our industry guests, a lot of vendors. Can you kind of detail a little bit of? Is there any more detail you can give us into that job?
Yeah. So I oversee and assist the departments that roll up to me, which is the exhibit space. So for listeners, that's the artist alley, the retailer hall, um, as well as some general exhibiting spaces. So um, photo shoot locations that are sponsored by companies and
Mm-hmm.
what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the gaming department.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that also includes our indie gaming activities, as well as all the different types of arcades and tabletop as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really pretty exciting.
Yeah. Uh,
And the cosplay exhibits also roll up into that section. So for listeners, if you've attended Anime Central before, those kind of large stands and backdrops and the immersive type scenes that you can walk into and take pictures in and what have you. All of that kind of rolls up into that section. So think of the majority of exhibitions and those hall type activities on the first floor of the Donald D. Stevens Convention Center.
All right. So you've got quite a lot of things to keep an eye on every single year.
It definitely can be challenging, but it's, all for the attendees and everybody attending the event. So
Uh,
it's definitely enjoyable.
exactly. So can you just describe what is a typical ACEN? How does a typical year for ACEN go for you? Like when does your planning start for the current year ACEN?
Oh gosh, I think I start planning for ACEN for the next ACEN around when the ACEN before current ends. So I'm about a year or two ahead. But for a typical day, I start early morning Wednesday in the convention center for setup
Mm-hmm.
to make sure everything's kind of taken care of. So I work very closely with our venue site relations and our convention center to make sure that everything's ready for the big Thursday move in. We might you might not know this, but on the Thursday of ACEN, all the retailers and artists start moving in and
Mm-hmm.
setting up their displays and locations. And they spend that whole day building their locations so that they're ready for you on Friday morning at 10 a.m. So you can imagine how busy my Thursday traditionally is.
I bet all those trucks moving in and vehicles in, moving into the convention center to drop off stuff so that they can set up their different stations and stuff like that. And keeping track of all that and making sure everything doesn't get too crowded, I bet makes you a very busy man from Thursday morning, probably till Thursday night, easily. And then you're busy anyway from Friday morning till Sunday night.
Absolutely. From there, like you were saying there on Friday when the event officially begins,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of spend my time, with the team and checking in with our exhibition partners as well as other teams throughout the event, making sure that everything's running as smoothly as possible because it's a huge endeavor.
I can only imagine just the sheer, a lot of our listeners don't realize just the sheer logistical might that has to go into planning an event like this.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, in your would you say that your professional career has kind of helped your ACEN career, or maybe vice versa?
Um, I really think they have. I've worked for listeners, I've worked in the healthcare, retail, education, and financial sectors.
Mhm.
And I can honestly say that my experience in both my professional career and my time with Anime Central has really helped each other. I've had the amazing opportunity to work with so many talented people, really talented people
Mhm.
that have shaped the person I am today. And in fact, I'd even go as far as to say, without my time in Anime Central, I don't think I'd be as or have been as fortunate in my professional career as I have been. So I'm really lucky to have had this opportunity, both here at ACEN and in my professional realm. And I couldn't be more fortunate. So,
And that's very good to hear. That's something that we've talked about with people who volunteer, is that with working for the organization, you can pick up skills and connections that definitely help you in your professional career. So,
that is very true.
mhm.
I've gotten to know people from so many different walks of life and learned so many different things. It's really, yeah, it's really something that's been beneficial to me and uh, everyone else,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
definitely beneficial to the organization.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that is for sure.
So Phil, you have been, like we said, you've been with ACEN for a while. You've done a lot of different things. Do you have any cool stories from previous ACENs that people may not know about?
Oh gosh. Well, I have there's one experience that really sticks with me.
Hmm.
It was when we first brought out Bang Zoom Entertainment out to Anime Central,
Hmm.
and one of the things that Bang Zoom did that year was they had open casting auditions
Hmm.
for people at the event, and watching that happen in the hall, and watching people really pour their heart out into the role, and the role that they were reading,
Hmm.
and kind of seeing that kind of progress, just really showed the amount of support that not only is there for the industry, but is also there for the fans. And I won't say I didn't get a little teary eyed watching it all happen, but it's been an experience that's really stuck in my both mind and heart, of something that's been really fantastic to see, and kind of sums up what we are as a community. So
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you as someone who was on the other side of things at that moment, the reaction to having that experience at ACEN put us apart from so many other, anime conventions that you could go to, and really shows the love that the community has to, come together and to experience, being able to possibly voice a character in in an upcoming anime, and that's been an incredible experience for our attendees.
right, I'm looking forward to what we've got planned for this year. I know we're finishing up some of the final placements
Hmm.
for retailers and artists, as well as some of our industry partners.
Hmm.
So we should see some of that coming down the pipeline soon. And additionally, we should also begin to see announcements about gaming and the interesting activities that gaming has working on for everyone as well. So I'm really hopeful that we're going to have some of the same things for this upcoming Anime Central that kind of bring us all together again.
Very good sentiment. I was actually just about to ask you if you had anything you could share about the plans for ACE in 2022, but you kind of let people know we've got announcements coming for gaming. You'll and people start seeing vendor and industry industry partners kind of start to show up before too much longer. But and that's always exciting.
Oh, absolutely. We're planning to have a jam-packed schedule and activities for everyone to enjoy this coming May 20th to the 22nd.
Hmm. So tell me, Phil, what are you looking forward to most with our 25th ASEN?
Oh gosh, I kind of getting my hopes up for the past 2 years, each
Mm.
year. But what I'm really looking forward to for our 25th anniversary is just the opening of the hall there at 10 a.m. on Friday. Uh, I'm It's just so exciting, and I'm so excited to see people fill the hall.
Hmm.
Many of our retailers and artists, as well as industry partners, have supported and stayed with us throughout the pandemic.
Hmm.
Uh, but that doesn't mean that they weren't hit hard during this time as well.
Hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing all the support and excitement from everyone when everything does open. Because we had ASIN online for the past 2 years, and it was really exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in person and seeing everybody's excitement as well.
My thoughts exactly. Our industry partners and our vendors and our artists have been, by our side through these, past 2 years. And when we did ASIN online, we showed them a lot of love too. But there's nothing like being there 10 a.m. Friday morning and have people rushing into the hall to go to all the different partners, go to the artist alley. So definitely is going to be the highlight of from at least the way I feel, is going to be one of the highlights of that weekend. Is just everybody being back.
Oh, right. If you see me during opening, you'll probably see a tear or two, just because I'm so excited to finally see everybody again and get things rolling.
Me too. So tell me, do you have any last words for our attendees?
Well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we're really excited to see everyone joining us on May 20th to the 22nd to experience everything Anime Central has to offer. Speaking directly to those of you listening, don't forget to pre-register so that you can get straight to the fun. And additionally, for all you listeners out there, if any or all of this seemed interesting to you, please don't hesitate to reach out and come be a part of the team. I know I'm looking forward to seeing you and everybody else in May as well.
Me too. So just like Phil said, guys, make sure you register for your badge. By the time this episode comes out, Tier 2 registration for badges will be ending on New Year's Day 2022. So you do not want to miss out. Also, volunteering, there will be a link at the bottom of the show notes for you to sign up. We really look forward to seeing applications, and we look forward to seeing you all May 20th through the 22nd, 2022 at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. Phil, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you, Sean. It's been great talking with everybody, and see you soon.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of the ACential podcast. I want to once again thank Phil, our senior manager of exhibit experiences, for sitting down with me and to talk about all the great things that are going to be coming for ACen 2022. Before we wrap up this episode, I did want to kind of leave you guys with some closing thoughts on this year and the year before it, and kind of just where my thought process is heading into 2022. So, as you all know, the last 2 years have been a bit tumultuous. They've been a little chaotic, and that's putting it lightly. We know that for some of you, this has not been a very easy 2 years. And I just wanted to say personally, for those of you that have stuck by Anime Central, who are excited and 100% ready for our 2022 convention and are out there getting your cosplays ready, getting your panels ready, all that fun goodness, we just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are what makes ACen the best anime convention in the Midwest. And I would even dare to say the best anime convention in the US. There is a lot of announcements and a lot of information that's going to start coming your way here in the beginning of 2022. Obviously, we've got guest announcements. We've also got our COVID safety protocols, because COVID is not going away. So be on the lookout for all that information as we go into 2022. Again, for those of you that have been on our official Facebook group, who have joined us in our Discord server, and who have just been sharing the love of Anime Central, thank you all so much. Your love and support is what makes 2022 possible. So that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything you want to talk about here on the podcast, you can always reach me, podcast@acen.org. That all being said, guys, we hope that you had a great holiday season, that you have a joyous and fun New Year's, and that we will see you all in 2022. Until then, this has been Sean with the Arts and Publication team, and I'll talk to you guys next time. The ACential podcast is an audio production for Anime Central and the Midwest Animation Promotional Society. All rights reserved.